Well, it's level 2, but not as we know it. Especially not if your work in the area is represented by our next 3 guests: the gyms, restaurants and indeed cinemas. Record keeping, scanning requirements, seating, of course head counting. This is going to become the new normal. Let's get more on this. Of course, the level change happens tonight. We are joined by Auckland's restaurateur and celebrity chef Al Brown, along with Philip Mills, owner of the well-known Les Mills Group and also chief executive and co-owner of New Zealand's largest independent cinema group, Monterey Cinemas. That's Kelly Rogers. Kia ora tātou.
Morena, Susie.
Now, obviously, this is for places outside of Auckland. Nonetheless, Al, I will start with you. What do you think are going to be the biggest issues for hospitality as we go in between these 2 levels?
Oh, sort of 3 is no man's land, and we're not there yet. We're still in 4, and goodness knows when we're going to go into 3. But and 2's not much better. And the new rules, I guess, with 2 is going to make it. It's pretty difficult for a start with having to. Our tables are fixed in the restaurant, so we can't actually move tables out. So we'll have empty tables, which is always infuriating, and just the extra. After the big lockdowns last year, it took a long time for confidence for the customers to come back in, and now having to have masks on when they come in, if they get up and have to go to the toilet, to put the mask on, and it all seems a little bit hard to work out.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that. Is it clear to you? I mean, I know you're in level 4 and you're a bit away from this, but is it clear to you? So you've got to have your mask on when you're in the restaurant, and I suppose it's kind of clear if something arrives for you to eat, that you would take your mask off and eat it. But what if it's something that you wouldn't have in a oneer, like a cup of coffee or a glass of wine?
Look, I mean...
Is it on, off, on, off, on, off? How do you do it?
It's pretty difficult to eat and drink with a mask on, so it has to come off. And then that beggars belief a little bit, like, well, what if someone's, has a cough or something, and sends little spits into the air or something like that, and then putting the mask. So look, we'll wait and see, and I'll watch the rest of the country and see how they go from tomorrow onwards. But and even the waiters, they're going to have to obviously have masks on, and in the kitchen we'll have masks on.
It gets pretty hot in the kitchen, though, doesn't it? What kind of masks are you going to be providing?
Well, they'll be the disposable ones, I guess, and I don't know. We'll look into if there's different options out there. But a mask is a mask. That's the thing. So, and our kitchens are open to the public. But it's all a bit grim. We just need to get vaccinated and get down to 1. That's what I think.
Philip Mills, if I can come to you on the situation with gyms. Level 2, is this still going to be a pretty tricky situation for gyms? How confident are people going to be coming back?
No, we're fine at level 2. We've dealt with this before, and we're very happy to be open again at level 2. People can come to the gyms, and our past experience has shown that they have really come rushing back in. It is essential that people exercise. The health damage of not exercising is a huge issue for us. So I think that our government has taken a really good, responsible approach to this. Some of the gyms overseas who we deal with, who our international company deals with, have been closed for as much as a year over the last 18 months. And the health damage that's done to their people has been enormous. There's about 1 million New Zealanders that rely on the gym as their main source of exercise. So I think this is really good, the way that our government is running things.
What is the situation around things like masking? Because obviously you get pretty puffed out doing exercise, and that sort of sprays your breath around the place.
Okay, so we've taken huge precautions around social distancing, around dividers between machines, around the Perspex covers over the reception desks. Our staff wear masks at level 2, but the members do not. Grant Robertson was clear in an interview last night that you didn't have to wear a mask while you were exercising. The stats show that you are vastly worse off. You've got about 160 times the chance of catching COVID if you're a non-exerciser, a non-gym user, than if you are, which is a remarkable stat, really.
Where do you get that stat from?
It's overseas stats. So UK Active, the big, and Euro Active, the big official groups are there, showing one positive case of COVID per 100,000 visits to gyms. You're much better to be exercising. If you're not confident to go to the gym, really you should be getting out and riding your bike or running or jogging or something. New Zealanders who were locked down last year, as opposed to the frontline workers and the emergency workers, the essential workers, put on an average of 5.6 kilos over the June to June year. Now that has a dramatic effect on people's health. That's 10 times the normal weight increase. We can't just be sitting around doing Zoom calls all day long. You've got to get up off your bum.
Indeed. Okay, I'm still not sure about your stat, but anyway, we'll leave it there for now. Kelly Rogers, if I can come to Kelly Rogers now from the cinema group Monterey Cinemas. How are you going to be enforcing mask wearing in cinemas? Because, of course, I guess people can wear them when they're going in, but they can take them off when the lights go out.
Yeah, Marina, Susie. It's challenging times for us all, that's for sure. I mean, we're a bit like Phil. We're grateful that we're able to open again. It's been a tough time for the small cinemas throughout New Zealand through the various stages of the pandemic. So what we're doing with reopening cinemas, we're allowed the maximum gathering size of 50 people instead of 100 per separate space. Mask wearing for the staff and customers required, obviously, and we can provide those masks if necessary. I mean, most people have got their own and they're bringing them in now. It seems to be the new norm. We just carry them everywhere with you. We've got the contact tracing, with scanning and manual contact tracing. We're doing 1 metre spacing per theatre, and we've also got 2 metre spacing in the queues and the foyers, something we've all the independent cinemas and the circuits in New Zealand have got. We're all equipped with dynamic seat spacing technologies for really good, safe and easy use, which leads to the contactless FPOS and ticketing.
So you don't think people will be tempted to swap seats if they've gone with a big group or, do anything that might sort of put paid to all these efforts that you're going to?
One of the things we're doing is we're increasing the staff numbers for monitoring people for reasons like that. I mean, again, I think there's a responsibility in New Zealand that we just want to work through this and not sort of push the boundaries too much. But in terms of our contactless tracing and our social distancing, there are fewer people allowed per auditorium this time round than last time, so there'll be more space in the cinema for people to sit. I mean, it's interesting because if you think about cinemas, it's actually one of the safest destinations outside the home, where you've got a group of people who sit masked, they're motionless, and they're silent as they face one direction. And that probably sees far less viral transmission than, say, congregating at other social venues where you've got people talking, singing, or even yelling, which may be involved. And just think, we've all missed the smell of fresh popcorn. Isn't that enough to get people back to the cinema in itself?
You've sold it to me. Thank you very much. Kelly Rogers there from Monterey Cinemas. We were also speaking with Philip Mills from Les Mills and with celebrity chef Al Brown.